I would say conservatives as pro-life advocates, as those who believe in the dignity of human life, that it's not something that can be siloed in a particular time frame of life. It must be comprehensive. If God gave us as human beings a dignity that cannot be removed, then it must be true throughout our lives. And what that means is that no matter what our status is, no matter what we've done wrong, we're not the sum of the worst things that we've done in life. That dignity must be respected and protected. And so that includes opposing the death penalty in Oklahoma and across the board.
Policy extends beyond our party. If we stand up for America and we stand up for American values and we pledge ourselves as dedicated to this country and its people, and we stand on the Constitution, we believe that cruel and unusual punishment is not okay. It's murder. It's not okay. There's no justifiable reason to end somebody's life as a government official, as we the people. In Oklahoma, when we deliver an execution, it says we the people of Oklahoma. And then we move to execute somebody. That's absolutely insane. How many times is it okay to get it wrong? Policies extend beyond the party. There's not every single thing in the party is something that we all are going to agree with. You can be a conservative and be against capital punishment. You can be a conservative and disagree with other issues too.
There was a time in my life that I believed in the death penalty and supported the death penalty, and it wasn't until I was a member of the Pardon and Parole Board, which is the body in Oklahoma that is charged with making the decision in clemency hearings about whether or not a person is granted clemency before their execution date. And as I began to consider those decisions and vote on the life of another human being, I had to deeply consider how I felt about the death penalty in a way that I never had before. And it was the proximity to that system and having to cast a vote on the life of another human being that eventually brought me to the place that I am today, with the conviction that we should not be killing people and we should not have the institution of the death penalty.
My name is Jara Burton. I am a former juror on Tremaine Wood's case. All the inadequacies of the case that I was on with Tremaine, the brother admitting to the crime, but because Tremaine was there, he qualified to get the death sentence, which I didn't think was fair. And also all the corruption that goes on behind the scenes that the citizens are unaware of, and Tremaine's life being in my hands that I did not feel like was the right decision for me to be able to say whether or not he should be put to death.
I think the data is clear whether we support the death penalty or not. As practice in Oklahoma, we cannot guarantee that we're not going to execute innocent people. The fact that Oklahoma leads the nation in per capita exonerations is morally indefensible. We have 11 exonerees in Oklahoma. It looks like we're going to have 12 once there's a conclusion to the Richard Glossip case. And leading the nation in something that's so egregious is just simply indefensible. The fact that we can't guarantee that justice can be done without putting innocent people to death is something that's intolerable. And so we have to oppose this. We have to shut the system down and explore how we're going to have a system of justice that's fair, that can be exercised in a way that we guarantee innocents are protected.
I think in Oklahoma, you have to decide what level of competency you believe your government should carry out capital punishment. And again, it was my proximity to the system that led me to see that killing people who are innocent is an inherent part of capital punishment, meaning you can't ever get it right every single time. There's always going to be an error rate. And in my experience, I believe you have to decide what an acceptable error rate is to have the system of capital punishment. And I got to a point where I realized that my number was 0. I was not comfortable with killing any innocent individuals in order to have the system of capital punishment. So I think for conservatives in Oklahoma, you have to decide how competent do you believe your government should be to carry out the system of capital punishment, And how many innocent people are you okay with your government executing in order to maintain the institution of the death penalty? And I believe that if your number is 0, like mine was, then you cannot support the death penalty as it is practiced today.
I'm a Republican in Oklahoma that stands for grace and for truth. I don't stand for murder. I don't stand for capital punishment. I don't stand for ending the life of another Oklahoman based off of a crime. It costs the state a ridiculous amount of money. It ends the life of another individual. I don't think there's any justifiable reason for the government to execute people and for us to just sit by and be okay with that. A moratorium would give us time to, even if we didn't end the death penalty altogether, there's so many times where executions are botched or somebody's put on death row wrongly. Whatever we're doing is not working, and we're not doing it well.
I'm Demetrius Minor, and I serve as the Executive Director of Conservatives Concern. Right here in Oklahoma, recent polling showed that 78% of Oklahomans support a moratorium on the death penalty. I strongly believe that the Sooner State will serve as a model for other red states and for other conservatives to follow in terms of ending the death penalty. If you want to join this growing movement, I encourage you to go to www.conservativesconcern.org.